Welcome back to the Sunday talk show here on Arise News. I'm Rueben Abati. The stage is finally being set for the return of Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari to the country after a long stay in London on medical vacation. President Buhari thinks he's fit to return home, but he says his doctors will have the last word on when that should be. The president spoke when his media team, led by Nigeria's Information Minister Lai Mohammed, visited him on Saturday in London. The visit, from which pictures show a more vibrant President Buhari, is a clearer indication that the president has regained more vigor and vitality.
The president is very much back. He's very healthy, and has not lost his sense of humor at all. We're living in London very elated, very excited, because we met our president in very good health. He has spoken to us, we exchanged banters, and I think we can't ask for more.
He has said that now he has learned to obey orders. Mr. President is a retired general. He was the one who used to issue the orders. But now the shoe is on the other foot, and he is the one that must obey orders. So he says he must obey the orders of his doctors. So we look forward to the doctors giving him the green light to proceed to Nigeria.
We just appeal to Nigerians to continue to pray for Mr. President. He's going to come back, inshallah, to Nigeria to continue what he's been doing. And right now, there's really no vacuum. Mr. President is happy about that. Like the fact that the acting president is doing the job with all diligence and responsibility.
The president
now, panel, you've just watched that. And you must have seen the pictures in the local media. 5 persons, members of the president's media team and the special advisor on diaspora matters visiting the president. What's your assessment? The president looks like he's
well, we thank God
back in good shape.
We thank God that he's looking much better than when he left Nigeria. We pray that he can return very quickly. But Nigerians are complaining that they don't want to see their president stay that long ever in London. So let's hope there is no repeat of this.
Yes, Prisca?
Yeah, I think the important thing is we're happy that he's getting better. I want to say that the media team of the president did not handle the issues well. Nigerians' worry is the fact that they didn't know what was happening. And because he's our president, we wish him well. We want him to be better. If he needs our prayers, we need to understand what the state of health is so that we'll know where to pray or how to pray. Everything was shrouded in secrecy. Began to worry, which gave room to rumor mongers to say all sorts of speculations. But we're happy seeing him now that he's getting better. It gives us hope that very soon he should be back to the country.
Well, I mean, if I may play the devil's advocate, I think there's been some improvement in the handling of the media.
Absolutely.
Now, in the reports from London, you could actually hear the president exchanging banters with his guests, and you could see him walking about, unlike previously when only static photos were shown and Nigerians had their doubts. But I think, as you said, Nigerians would like their president to be around and to be fit, But this is an issue
to tell us.
And this is an issue. This is an issue we will come back to later when we discuss the
enough of this visit.
presidential
If you
candidates.
ask me, enough of this visit. Enough. Honestly, if you ask me, it's becoming too much of a drama. Let the man come home if he wants to come home. That's it.
I mean, we all remember when Hillary was ill. Her team gave a blow-to-blow account of what was going on. People knew what was happening, so there were no rooms for speculations on whether she was alive or all that. We don't need the full details of what, his medical situation, but at least the fact that once in a while we hear a message from the president to say that, I am well, a goodwill message to the people.
The president the other day addressed Nigerians, although he did so in Hausa language.
It was long overdue. No, but that's at least it was long overdue. We should see more of that.
Yeah, doctor said he addressed Nigeria, but in Hausa language.
Well, we'll need translators for those of us who don't understand.
I won't say more.
But there are persons also who are saying that, okay, whatever the doctors say, it is unfortunate that the president of a country of 190 million people, we have to embark on medical tourism, whatever his condition may be. and there is a comment on the state of the health infrastructure in Nigeria.
In fact, what makes it very sad is that wherever you go in the world, some of the best doctors, best surgeons are Nigerians. I still don't know why we don't trust our own people. And I don't know how much it will cost to buy whatever equipment. I think maybe some of the most important equipment in the world will be an ICU. And how much will it cost to have that in Nigeria? How much will it cost to fly some of our best doctors? I'm sure some of them will offer free services if approached. There is no hospital I've visited in the world that did not meet Nigerians. There is none.
How many average Nigerians can afford to fly abroad for treatment?
President John Kufuor of Ghana actually had a spinal surgery at Kolebu Hospital in Ghana. So this is something that we must address very urgently. Because the president living, and the man is even staying in a home. He's staying at the Abuja house in London. It's not as if he is hospitalized. So which means whatever facilities he's enjoying there, we should be able to provide it back home in Nigeria. But I don't know. I don't know why.
That explanation suffices. I agree with you.
Yeah, but there's also the question of principle. Some persons have said that the president during the campaign promised to ensure that public officials are treated in Nigeria, whatever the ailment may be. And here, he has not been able to keep to that principle.
Absolutely.
No, you see, as for that, everybody, you have a right to change your mind. But my own position is that it cannot be that expensive. Even if we spend an entire budget for once on ensuring that we have up-to-date medical facilities in Nigeria, then let us do so. Because it is embarrassing for our president to live permanently in a foreign country. It is so bad that if someone commented last week, one of those who attack us, the Buhari supporters, commented last week that it's so bad that we have not even heard that the British Prime Minister has paid a visit to the biggest president on the continent of Africa. You have him there, and we haven't seen such moves. Not even the foreign minister, so all you see are the local people and then maybe the Archbishop of Canterbury. That's all.
I think it's time our leaders begin to understand that leadership is about service. You need to lead by example. If you're saying that your state of health is so critical that you cannot enjoy the same facilities that you're providing to the electorate, and you have the option of leaving them behind to go and get the care that they cannot get, it's a very strong statement.
Well, I must say, though, that it's not only President Buhari who, as an African president, goes for treatment abroad. Other African presidents do so. Mugabe is abroad almost every month.
He's a man of
that's a very poor country.
He's a man of integrity, so we expect him to be different.
Yeah, you can't compare Zimbabwe to Nigeria. What I'm saying is affordability. We can afford the best medical facility on ground in Nigeria, and we must exploit it.
And even in spite of that, he still chooses to travel.
Why should we emulate the mistakes
No, you
of
can
other African
consult,
countries?
you can have your consultants, you can travel for a week or two, but when it comes to staying perpetually...
But it looks like the bigger concern is that the return of the president is now open-ended. He told his guests that now he will obey the orders of his doctors, which means that he's not likely to return to Nigeria until the doctors release him.
Which is still managing the truth. That is still managing the truth.
But I worry why we don't even have a clue what is actually wrong with him, and I think it's a problem in leadership, this particular leadership.
Anyway, in any case, some Nigerians are already saying that if the president does not return, then perhaps the National Assembly should take a look at the Constitution. But the Constitution is very clear. The Constitution does not say a president cannot go on medical vacation. And there is an acting president, of course,
it would actually
in
require
office.
the FEC to take that initiative first, and this FEC won't do that.
Welcome back to the Sunday Talk Show here on the Arise News Channel. I'm Rueben Abati. Nigeria's main opposition party, People's Democratic Party, PDP, held its convention on Saturday in continuation of the ongoing reorganization of the former ruling party. The party has just been saved by a Supreme Court judgment from the throes of a leadership crisis that had enfeebled it from playing any strategic role in the Nigerian polity. The party's caretaker national chairman, Ahmed McCarthy, and his team now have a December deadline to organize another convention that will give the PDP a new executive. Will all these reorganizations and other overtures by the party to its estranged members help it in regaining its hitherto preeminent position as the foremost political party in Nigeria? The panel takes a look at this and other issues affecting the party. Now, I was saying earlier that it looks like PDP has been given a new lifeline, both by the Supreme Court and also with its attempt to reorganize its affairs. At this PDP convention, McCarthy has been given 4 months. Some executive committees in some states, including Kebbi, Anambra, Ogun, Osun, and some other places, have been dissolved. And there are plans to actually reorganize the party, look at the constitution, and then all of this leading towards an elective convention. But what do you think? You think the PDP is really back, or this is just another preparation for?
For me, I don't think the PDP just came back because of the convention. The PDP came back immediately after the Supreme Court ruling. And then this is just another step to moving forward. And what we see on Saturday is a clear indication that the party is gradually, inching closer than we can imagine. And PDP is not to be taken lightly at all in the next election. I see PDP playing a much more stronger role in the elections. And just like it paved the way for the APC in the last election, APC, with the way it's running its affairs now, could as well pave the way for the PDP.
What I see is that many of the members of APC currently are likely to jump ship and go back to PDP. And we must watch out for that.
Well, isn't it unfortunate that in more than 2 years, the PDP has not been able to play its role as a very strong opposition party? Is it suffering in part from the hangover of being in power for 16 years?
No, they didn't prepare.
Do you see the party now preparing and being able to present a very formidable opposition to the ruling party?
From smarting from that defeat to running into a leadership crisis, it had a lot to deal with. But now it's getting back. So you can see if a brand new PDP is in the offing, and I tell you, PDP is coming back better. And I think it's good for the party.
I noticed that at that non-elective convention, there was some kind of chest beating.
Yes, now.
About how the PDP had done so well and how the APC had messed up all that the PDP achieved in 16, 17 years.
The former president literally lit up the arena with his goodwill message.
Yes. And I think it was a very high spirit, and I could see that, they were really gearing up for a strong opposition. I think it's a healthy development, and it gives hope that...
There was the implication of Momodu Sharif, the ex-Wale factional chairman, and some of his supporters like Buriji Kashamu boycotting that convention.
It's okay. What they need to do is to reach out to every one of them. And those who say they don't want to participate, where would they go at the end of the day? You see, the beauty of democracy is that if you look at it globally, you can only have 2 major dominant parties. Those dominant parties dictate everything. Any other third force is usually a joke, trust me. So you either stay in APC or in PDP. And but I know for a fact that a lot of the people in APC will be forced. Is it because sometimes we're bad losers? So once they can't get what they want in APC, then they go to PDP. And Nigeria is not a country where people operate on principle or ideology. People just move.
One of the fallouts of that convention was the case of Governor Dele of Ekiti State, taking over the arena and going around and proclaiming himself as a potential presidential candidate for 2019. Well, he didn't even say he's a potential candidate. If I was saying that he had already seen himself occupying, the villa and, serving Nigerians as president. But if you look at the principle of rotation of power, the principle of it and how it works in Nigeria. Do you think it's the turn of a Southern candidate and a Yoruba candidate in 2019?
I had that conversation before.
It's not a constitutional thing, as you know.
I know, but that principle is there.
The principle is within the PDP party.
That's correct.
Every Nigerian is eligible to contest the presidential race. And that is why I chose to contest in 2011. And that principle is still there, that anybody can contest. You see, when people say it's the turn of the North, if you calculate how many years that the North has been in power in Nigeria, then you will know that that principle has never been enforced.
Well, I mean, there has been an attempt to enforce it, but also by default, it also hasn't quite worked the way people expected it. But Fayose apparently is not the only person right now who wants to be president of Nigeria in 2019. There are people who are saying, well, they are already campaigning for President Buhari, and there are persons who have even declared that even if he's in London, he will win the election from London in 2019.
Yes, politicians can say anything.
Yeah, and then there are other candidates, of course.
Maybe we should look at some of them. Yeah, maybe we should look at some of the candidates.
Okay.
So far, those who have made indications, we have our current incumbent president.
He hasn't made any.
Well, we are assuming. That's why we're
right.
calling it the possible presidential hopefuls.
Yeah.
So we have President Muhammadu Buhari. We have the acting president, Osinbajo. We have the Senate President, Bukola Saraki. We have the erstwhile Vice President, Atiku Abubakar. We have the former President, Goodluck Jonathan. We have Rabiu Kwankwanso, Ibrahim Shema, Sule Lamido, Nasir El Rifai, Aminu Tambuwal, Rochas Okorocha, Ahmed Makafi, Atahiru Bafarawa, Ibrahim Shekarau, Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambo, Donald Duke, Ayo Fayose, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Ojuzo Kalu. So those are some of the ones that we've identified so far. Which maybe we should take one or two of them.
Well, that's quite a long list, and if you also look at that list, all these who are people between their 50s and their 70s.
Absolutely. If you were to ask me, I think we should be looking at between the ages of 35 to 65. Because optimally, if you put in 8 years into active service and you're above 65, there is no way you will be able to produce optimally on that seat, because it's a very tasking job. So this is also a challenge for the youth, those who haven't already indicated interest. If you're within the ages of 35 to 65 and you think you have what it takes to lead Nigeria.
Well, at the moment, as you recall, the National Assembly, both the National Assembly and the House of Reps, they are trying to amend the Nigerian Constitution.
Absolutely.
And on this issue of the presidential election and the age of eligibility, as defined in Section 131 of the Nigerian Constitution, they are saying Section 131 says you must be 40 years for you to run for president, in addition to other requirements. But they are proposing that that should be reduced to the age of 35. And a lot of young people who have been asking for a not too young to run bill have been very excited. And they would like to see a young person, maybe like Emmanuel Macron of France, becoming president. And then in some countries, in the UK, once you can be elected into parliament, in France, in Croatia, the minimum age is 18, and you can become anything in the country. In the United States, it's 40 years. Okay, so you find that the global trend is to have young people taking positions of leadership. But we have special challenges in Nigeria, don't we? Do you see the amendment being passed? Because it still has to go to the Houses of Assembly, and 24 of the 36 states must endorse. And then it goes to the president for his assent. Do you see the executive endorsing that and allowing 35-year-olds to run for the presidency of Nigeria?
I think it's a very popular bill. I think it will pass.
For me, even if it doesn't pass, it will not go below 40. So if you have 40 to 65, we can still manage that.
No, but nowhere in the Constitution is it stated that you must not be older than 65.
No. But we are just saying that ideally, and the youth constitute about 65-70% of the voting population. So it means if we are indeed serious this time, we are likely to have a younger president.
Okay, are you saying that what we should be talking about is a bill that is titled Too Old to Run?
Maybe.
Yeah, if you are saying
Is
the
the
person must not be
other,
older than 65.
Not too young to run.
Not too young to run and
not
maybe
too
too
old
old.
to perform.
Why would you say elderly people who are mature, who are wise, who have seen it all should not run even at 75?
There can be elder statesmen.
We've had two in recent memory in Nigeria. We had Yaradua and now we have Buhari, and we can see where it has landed us. So I personally, from the past, never liked the idea of older men. But we were persuaded last time because we felt the man who was there was not performing. But right now, if we don't begin to set those targets, we may find ourselves in such...
If you say we've had older people, Obasanjo was president at 62 when he came back. He was 62. Umaru Yaradua
was even okay.
Umaru Yaradua was 57 when he became president.
Yes.
Goodluck Jonathan was 53. President Buhari was 72. So if you really look at it, the only person that is...
You've answered our question.
How?
Literally, yeah.
You've answered it.
Is it ideally what I think we should be looking at now is a situation where we encourage the young people. We have them. When I say young, it doesn't have to be 40. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching for any one of them, but I would have wished that we had a Donald Duke as my president. I don't care where the president comes from. All this zoning has not led us anywhere. Let us look, yes. So get an El Rufai, get a Tambua, get an Oshibajo, get a Fashola. At least let's look at the best of Nigeria.
Okay, if age is the matter, look
Not
at it
age,
this way.
the best. Not
Okay.
just age.
No, but
It's a
I want to
complete
take you
package.
back. I want to take you
Capacity,
back to
yeah.
this issue about being young, being too old. Now, some of the young persons who want to be president, some of them were governors in some of these states
And they
when they
performed.
were 30-something or
Yes.
they were in their 40s.
Yes.
I'm not too sure that the record of performance
No, Donald Duke
is
performed.
something to be...
Donald Duke performed. Akpabio performed in. So I'm not just talking about APC now. Akpabio in Akwa Ibom performed very well, spectacularly. Fashola performed. He was under 50. Amechi was under 50 in River State. So I don't see how we can say they didn't perform. They did.
Well, I see we have a generational challenge here. But I think that the more important thing is that, Nigerians should elect as their president somebody who is capable, somebody who,
And who is also able, who is also
belongs to the
able, who is
digital
fit.
age and who understands the challenges
Who
of
is
a modern society. You keep saying who is fit, who is fit.
No, because it's important to be fit. You can't give what you don't have.
No, there's
you might
even
be
something he
passionate
said-
about doing something, but you don't have the strength to do it. It's a tasking job being a president.
No, you even have to be very current.
Yeah.
Because you are going to be meeting with other world leaders. And we don't want a leader who will not be able to join the conversation.
Yeah.
And understand issues that are relevant to
But
today's...
don't you think it's too early for Nigerians to be talking about who the next president will be?
I don't
No,
think so.
Shouldn't
Even,
we be
It's not
focusing,
planning.
even Donald
Yes.
Trump is already campaigning for next
shouldn't we
election.
be focusing more on the assessment of the current process?
It's part of
Whether or not you like it, but next year we are full blown into politics.
No,
so-
this time next year we have only 6 months to
Yeah,
election. By
election.
now,
We need
ideally,
enough time to be able to appraise whatever candidates, are coming up to declare their intentions, so
I
that
don't
we
think
can
it's too early anyways.
we can appraise them and decide on somebody who has capacity to do
Well,
it.
in some other countries, there is affirmative action for women. In the just concluded election in Kenya, a significant percentage for representation in the legislature was reserved for women. But this same issue about affirmative action came up recently in our own National Assembly. And the Senate shut it down. The House of Reps shut it down. And the affirmative action that was part of the 33 bills for amendment was about reserving 35% of the federal cabinet for women. But here in Nigeria, no. The legislators shut it down. by the same token, they also shut down the issue about citizenship and indigeneity for Nigerian women.
Yes.
Now, this male chauvinism in Nigeria, both within government and outside of it, do you think we can ever get out of it at some point?
As a woman, I'm challenging all
because
the women
that list you read, no woman there.
There's no woman, I agree. As a woman, I'm challenging all the women representatives, both in the House and in the Senate, to take it as a point of duty to ensure that the right of the Nigerian woman is recognized. It's a shame that in modern times, our male counterparts still do not realize the role of having strong women to support them in the job that they're doing. They still feel intimidated and challenged by the opposite, by the female gender, such that a bill like that will be shut down both in the Senate and it's really surprising.
Okay, well, I mean, you already discussed some of the candidates on that list. Well, you focused on Donald Duke, but there are other persons on that list. Do you think 2019 will be Atiku Abubakar's
last chance
opportunity?
I don't think so.
I don't know. You see, like I wrote in my This Day column just yesterday, he's one of the best that we have. But what may work against him include age. Because by the time he's running, he will be about 72. So people are likely to look at that. And then the issue is running battle with his former boss, Obasanjo, alleging that he's corrupt.
You think
and
President Obasanjo is in a position to determine
no,
who becomes president?
You see, there is a Yoruba proverb that the leper may not be able to squeeze milk, but you can spill the one that you have squeezed. I don't know if you understand that. What it means is that whether we like it or not, Obasanjo is still a force to reckon with. And if he begins to release bazookas against his former deputy, it might become very dirty. So he has to prepare for it. Anyone who knows about Nigerian politics knows. In fact, politics generally everywhere in the world, just like they released documents against Donald Trump, they released documents against Hillary Clinton. So we don't know what will happen. But I know that in terms of administration, he's very seasoned. Yeah. He's one of the few who is able to assemble a good team. Yeah. He's a team player, unlike most of our leaders. But that age issue and his running battle with his former boss, I don't know what may happen.
I agree with you that he has capacity, and also he has a keen eye for talent. He has the ability to put a good team together. Yeah, age may not be on his side, but in terms of delivering on the job, I believe strongly that he is one of the strongest on the list.
Well, you mentioned acting President Yemi Osinbajo, but I mean, he doesn't have a reputation for being a politician. He comes across as a technocrat,
yes, he
and he has not shown any ambition in that direction. So why will you include him in the list?
That's why we said hopefuls.
You could follow
We are
him.
hoping
By virtue of his current position, you could follow
Let me give you something that works in his favor. And I also mentioned this yesterday in my column, is that right now we are able to assess his capacity and capabilities. And he has done something very smart. He's meeting with everyone, whether PDP, he went to Akwa Ibom, walked on the street, something that we've not seen any president do in a long time.
It's a subtle campaign.
It may not be a campaign, but he is already, there is a way he's getting himself into the consciousness of Nigerians. There is no politics bigger than your ability to unite a nation. And Nigeria needs that desperately right now. Then he is very brilliant. He is smart. He has also been able to assemble a good team around him, especially the economic team. You can see now that the Naira is improving, the dollar is coming down. So these are some of the things that people are going to consider. And a lot of political appointments have not been made. If President Buhari, if his doctors tell him not to come back soon, and Osinbajo continues, what it then means is that Osinbajo will be the one. You can see the number of appointments is made even in the last few days. So a lot of the appointees will get used to him and they will become loyal to him. That's how it works in Nigeria.
I actually think if he's thrown open, a majority of Nigerians would go for him.
Absolutely.
Well, okay. The only challenge I have about this is that if you listen to the voices from the north, the northerners are saying that, look, under President Umaru Yar'Adua, they lost their chance to have 2 terms in office. And then again, they don't want that kind of situation to occur now. But I see also Senator Bukola Saraki here. You think he stands a chance?
Well, again, if I may come in, I wrote about him yesterday. He's done very well holding the Senate together. The National Assembly has been quite vibrant. They are churning out bills upon bills. The only problem I see with him is where he comes from, the North Central. He's from Kwara State. And if you look at it, it's going to be very tough. He's a Yoruba man.
I know. We'll go on a short break, and then when we come back, we'll look at some other issues.